Well, welcome everyone to the incredibly gorgeous Rider Time podcast here on the Morphin Network. And we are here to discuss Kamen Rider Gotchard episode 34. And yeah, episode 34. Here we are. We're two-thirds into the series, finally. Oh man. Oh man. But yeah, let's get into the title. It's called The Only One. All roads lead to gorgeousness. And I swear, if you had a drink for every time the word gorgeous was used in this episode, I'm just glad it isn't, because god dang it, it would be like you'd be hospitalized. So please don't do that. Please don't do that. I would hate it if anything bad happened to you, if you got hurt just watching our podcast. And yes, all roads lead to gorgeousness, because we had to use some kind of pun involving one for Kamen Rider Arc 1 and 2 for Kamen Rider Zero 2, because somehow those two suits are used in this episode. So, yeah, unlike some of the past episodes of Gotchard, this is not even a 3-parter. It's a 4-parter, maybe a 5-parter. Who knows how long this will last? But dang, we're doing a continuous story right now. What? I never imagined we'd see this. I never imagined we'd see this in Gotchard, but here we are. Here we are. Not gonna lie though. Yeah, I have to say, like, one thing that's really hard about Gotchard is that I feel like there's always something I need to complain about. And I don't know what these writers could do to make me stop complaining, because it's like, at first it's like standalone episodes are a problem, so let's make 2-parters. But then the 2-parters become a problem, so then it's like, oh, let's just do a continuous arc. And somehow it's like I'm still taking issues with certain elements of it. So it's like, why do I feel dissatisfied watching Gotchard? That's kind of weird, and it doesn't make sense to me. But also watching the show, it's like I could just go back to my past, rants on the Rider Time podcast and just go over it. All right, so this is a continuation, so it's part 3 of a multi-part episode. There's definitely gonna be a part 4. So because Kamen Rider Zange did show up in the previous episode, I did finish watching Outsiders, and nothing from Outsiders parts 1 through 4 helped. And by the way, there will be a part 5 eventually. So yeah, what does Outsiders have to do with Gotchard right now? Zange does show up. Is it because Arc 1 is used in this episode? Because we still don't see... Man, I don't know what they're doing right now. Also, let me know in the comments where exactly in the Kamen Rider franchise would the Outsiders series land on? Like should it be placed into X-Aid because Nico is a recurring character? Should it be in Deno because freaking Zeronos has an important role in this? Should it be in 01 because Horobi is the most recurring character across the first 4 episodes? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If I had a bunch of folders for every season and all the specials go into those folders, which one folder would it go into? Kuga, Akito, Ruki, 5, Splade, Hibiki, Kabuto, Deno, Kiva, Decado, W, O, Sforce, Wizardo, Gaim, Drive, Ghost, X8, Build, GO, 01, Saber, Revise, Kitsu Gotchard. Like what? Which season would it go into? Because it's like watching the like the first Avengers movie without having watched the first 5 movies before. It's like oh, random cameo from Iron Man, random cameo from Captain America, and it's like oh, they're slowly conglomerating. We're getting excited for stuff to happen. Things are gonna go down, but it's like, why should we care about these characters? I feel like there's context missing to outsiders, and even more so. And the thing is like, and yeah, like we should do a separate video for outsiders, and we will. But the reason why I have to bring it up is because Zane showed up in the previous episode and he disappeared just as quickly, and he doesn't show up again in this episode. So why did Zane even make a cameo in this episode in the first place? In the previous episode. So where we last left off, freaking Kaguya turns into legendary legend, beautiful suit, quickly dispatches with Dark Kiva. Very, very quickly, might I add. So this dude who turned into Dark Kiva goes back to his dimension, and the 100 look like a trio of octahedrons, like the one from Evangelion episodes 5 and 6. And like they're like, you will fail us yet again, whatever your name is. Now we'll give you one last chance. Arc 1 last chance. So they give him an Arc 0 driver, and we don't see him till like the latter half of the episode. And just to get out of the way, yes, the Dark Sisters do show up. It's like, oh, Master, their new master appeared so scarcely in the last, let's say, 4 episodes. Then I still haven't remembered his name. I know it starts with a G. That's all I remember. And he looks generic as hell. But it's like, oh, what should we do? And he doesn't really say anything. And that's all we have of the Dark Sisters. Let's move on to the main characters. Yeah, so Kaguya is trying to adjust to life in Hotaro's dimension. And to the point that even when, okay, I have an issue with this first scene. Kachiki, how many times do they have to erase his memories? Okay, it's kind of cool that Kajiki and Butler are both played by the same actor, and there's a lot we could do with that. But I hate how, because they keep erasing Kajiki's memories, it's like he loses every opportunity to develop his character more. It's like, yeah, he raised up a girl way back in the beginning of the story. Memories got erased. What happened to him? Then he helps summon UFO X in order to save Sabimaru. There could have been potential there. He could have joined the squad as a non-alchemist companion. Memory gets erased, so he's back to 0. Every time he gets anywhere remotely involved with the plot, his memory gets erased, and it just feels unfair. It's like, this would have been a good opportunity. And the fact that like they did the whole like, we believe in the spirits of the Kamen Riders thing that you always see in one of those anniversary films, like the fight from the previous episode felt like legit. It did feel like watching a Let's Go Kamen Rider 40th anniversary film all over again, where like all the crowds are cheering on the Kamen Riders. We see every Kamen Rider from the Showa 15 all the way through O's, plus some secondary writers. And we get to see Kikaider 01, Inazuman, and Zubat also team up. Like we get something with a semblance of that. And like, this would have been a great opportunity to let Kajiki keep his memories. Let him like explore this new reality where his best friend is a superhero. How will he like cope with that? How will he live with that? Is he going to be like will his behavior towards Hotaru change because he has this new, more or less celebrity status? We will never know because he lost his memories again. What is wrong with that? But of course, they're in cram school, and what's his name? And Kaguya is like, behold the power of gorgeousness, and recurring problem. He tries to make everyone gorgeous, and the only one who's down for it is Renge because she likes the blingage because her background involves Rubish. So there's that. Yeah, Kaguya is maladjusting to this world because everyone wants to treat him like a celebrity while he's supposed to maintain a low profile. Of course, even Spanner is annoyed with this. Not much to say beyond that, but we do get into a fight scene against a group of Century Risers, and while Hotaru uses his ignition form, what's his name? Legend just overpowers him by swapping cards with him, and it's like, on one hand, it's cool that we get to see Kuga Fai's form again. Last time we saw Kuga Fai's form was in part 2 of Gotchard versus Legend in TTFC. But then but now you have that ignition armor added to it, so that's kind of cool. But the thing is, Kaguya basically takes Hopper 1 and Steamliner with him when he makes that exchange. So he kind of uses Hopper 1 in a way that made Hotaru a little upset with him. Turns out Butler was just observing the background. Also, again, why can't we get some interaction between Butler and Kajiki? Let the two lookalikes explore their relationship with each other. It's like, oh, do we have anything in common? Boy, we sure look the same, but we have nothing in common. Just give us more to work with. Freaking Curtis and Richie got more character development, and they were barely even in Power Rangers. Yeah, so Kaguya does get offended at Hotaru's drag. He's like, you don't want gorgeousness? You don't want to be my friend? Huh. And yeah, Hotaru learns, yeah, I know what it's like to lose my memories and then get them back, but now that I think about it, I haven't really thought about what it's like to be in the perspective of the person who was the one that was forgotten. It's like, yeah, we could work with that as a moral for this episode, but I also know you could have done it better. So, yeah, not easily impressed. I'm just not impressed. They could have done it better. And again, I feel like at this point, Legend should have just been the main character for the entire season and just have a whole fish out of water story where he lived the life of lap and luxury, always being gorgeous, and everyone was always ogling at him. But now he's stripped of that kind of cred, and he has to learn to live his life from the bottom upward. See, that would have been a much better story than Hotaru doing what? Trying to make friends with Chemis? It's like a watered down version of Gentaro Kisaragi, which is something I've been saying since the beginning of the season. So there's the issue right there. Of course, the Emperor Kiva dude comes back. He turns into Arc Zero. They have a fight sequence, and what's really cool is, the one thing I will say that's really cool is that they do show off that not only can he turn into the main riders with that golden stash thing, but also now when he has the legendary legend form, he can also turn into the final forms of those riders and copy their abilities to the point that even when he goes into the legendary decade complete form, he can make copies of the final forms of other riders, where we see legendary complete decade working with Deno liner form. And of course, yeah, it's a nice callback to episode I want to say either episode 24 or 26 of Kamen Rider Decade, where he actually does use liner form. And remember, whenever Decade Complete uses his uses the final Kamen Ride cards, he does create a copy of the final form of the other riders, and their movements mimic his. I like that callback. I really do. Of course, Den liner form doesn't have any kind of, extra regalia to signify the legendary status. But what we do see is the fact that Arc Zero does turn into Arc One, which apparently originally it was supposed to be able to do that. Like Arc Zero was supposed to turn into Arc One, but COVID happened. For me, if you've paid attention to our very first year of Rider Time podcast, you would know that in the version of in the finale that I would have wanted to have it for 01, as opposed to the finale that they actually had, was instead of having Arc 1 fight Arc Scorpion, it would be Arc 1 versus Arc 0 in their final battle, where Horobi, as Arc 0, represents the malice of human gears, while Aruto, as Arc 1, represents the malice of humanity. And the two of them fight each other. Their battle ends in a stalemate, and then Az takes both of their Progrise keys and says, like, now I have all the needed data for both Humagear malice and human malice, and then use some kind of like souped up version of the Thousand Driver to like use both Arc keys to become Arc 01, where it combines the malice of both species. Arc 01, it would have been perfect. So then either Horobi and Aruto would have to team up, showing like constructive collaboration between a human and a human gear, or have Horobi like give his data or essence to Aruto, so that they would basically combine as well in sort of the benevolence of humans with the benevolence of human gears, forming a benevolent 01, that sort of thing. But it was just a straightforward run of the mill fight. The only cool thing about it was when they use realizing Hopper, he says, a rider kick to the sky turns into a leap towards a dream. It's like, but yeah, so Arc 0, Arc 1, he turns into both, and of course the two riders have to team up, and they finally their combi finally clicked, and they defeated the dude, and of course he becomes permanently defeated, and apparently Handred manifests the Arc Driver into a giant death clock with a 24-hour counter, and that's basically where the episode ends. Not much I can say about this episode. I know it's trying to make a good moral. I just feel like they could have done it better. And I know I'm a broken record by saying, oh, they tried to do this, but they could have done it better. They tried to do this, but they could have done it better. They tried to do this, but they tried to do it better. But the thing is, they could have. They could have. And it's like some things feel too rushed. Some things feel like they're dragged. It's the pacing's just not good. And again, it's like, I feel like this story would have either A, worked better if you just made Kaguya the main character and just make him the main writer throughout the entire series, or bring Kaguya into the main story much earlier on and let his character grow over time, because it feels too much like watching that episode of Kamen Rider Decade where he teams up with Samurai Sentai Shinkenger. But the thing is, it's not just a 2-part episode. It's 4 whole episodes. We're part 3 into it. And I don't even know if there's going to be a part 5, a part 6. Is this going to be an entire arc? Because so far, this arc derails the main story, because Because again, like we have this new villain from the Ouroboros dimension. We have Clotho with this new, more powerful form, and we don't even see her for 2 whole episodes. And so we're being sidetracked for more than 2 episodes for this. Like, and you know, I'll say this. If they did not introduce this new villain from the Ouroboros dimension, I would have no problem with it. It's like this could be a part 2 where it focuses more on Kamen Rider Legend and having to deal with his thing and focus the entire remainder of the season on that. That would have been fine. King Oger did the whole the double bill plot story a lot better because you had the Bugnarok in the first half and then the Dog Dead in the second half. Like, so that would have been great. And even when they did derail the Dog Dead story by going to our Earth to fight, to team up with the Kyorugers, it only lasted 2 episodes, and at least there is a plot-related way that it affected things. Like, for one, the reason they're on our Earth is because Dog Dead threw them through a wormhole. And when they try to get back, a certain amount of time has passed, so now they have to face the consequences of being gone for so long. See, that is how you do a proper connection between the subplot and then the main story. How is any of this Kamen Rider Legend versus Handred stuff in any way related to what's going on with the Ouroboros dimension, the King of Hades, etc.? What does it have to do? Choreography was great. The writing was mid, 8 out of 10. This episode could have been better. Broken record. But I will say this, I do like seeing more of the veteran rider suits, like Deno Liner form. I did like seeing Bill Genius with the Legend regalia. And seeing Decade Complete with the Legend regalia. You know, I hope we see more of those. But everything just seems like to have no significance to the grander scheme, and that's kind of the problem. And the biggest offender is Kamen Rider Zane. Again, he has showed up in the previous episode, disappeared just as quickly, never brought up again this episode. So, like, why are you going to mention Zane if he's not even going to, like if they're trying to, like, combine all these TTFC specials with Gotchard, why are you even forcing it onto Gotchard? Why not just make it its own thing? Just make it its own thing instead of Gotchard. That's all I have to say. Let me know what you guys think of this episode. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Chest of Greatness says this man doesn't know how to lay low, especially when he almost transformed on live television. Yeah. But also it's like, who cares? He's not an alchemist. Like, alchemist writers, yeah, they need to lay low, like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But this dude, if he wants to pull a Lightspeed Rescue and morph in front of everyone, that's his business. You know, like, we have multiple Kamen Riders. Like, well, we could say that this is the only Kamen Rider who's public about his identity and just worry about that. The only issue is if a bunch of paparazzi are just going to start stalking him while he's hanging out with the main crew, and that could be a hazard. In which case, yeah, but show us, don't tell us. Who are the floating giant black gems that can talk? The Handred? There is a 0-2 versus Arc 1, except this is the gorgeous version. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he does turn into 0-2. I forgot to mention that. And originally it was supposed to be 0-2 versus Arc 1, but still, it's like, I still like my idea better, where it's Arc 1 versus Arc 0, and then their progress keys are combined into Arc 0-1. Cool Exceed Mighty Fire form. Yeah. The countdown to your doom begins. Yeah, Death Clock. It's taller than a tree. Toki's out of Bumblebee. Murder face, murder face, murder face. Pickles the drummer, shoving a dude. Nate, then explosion. I hope they finally shake hands next episode. Yeah. I made jokes about this in Ultraman Tiga this week. But you're right, though. Kamen Rider Zane's cameo still feels redundant. Why was he even there? That's a good question. Why was he even there? And why can't this season just have Legend as the main character? Also, a valid question. I don't know. Blame the writing staff. They're really off their game here, and I don't know why. But that's it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon. Stay notified for our latest videos. And be sure to share the video because this helps out with the algorithm. We do Ultraman Tiga, the movie, this Monday. And then after that, we're going to do Ultraman Rube. Wednesdays, Kamen Rider Gotchard. Here we are. Here I am. We are 01010101. Thursdays, Bakuage Sentai Boom Boomger. And then finally on Sundays, Kamen Rider Kiva. We only have 2 more sessions before we're done with the second arc. And there's 3 arcs in total. So we're almost done there for Kiva. Like I'd say in a month, we will be done with Kiva. So stick around for that. And check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we do movie reviews, video game news, etc. We are currently doing Shrek Month in honor of the 20th anniversary of Shrek 2. And we just did the first Shrek movie yesterday, so check out that video on the Buttery Show channel if you haven't seen it yet. And then next Tuesday, we're going to be doing Shrek 2, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. This month, actually, the 19th. If you want to check out my personal content, you can find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. With all that said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, update emergency kits, hug your loved ones, and make sure that you realize your true potential. Have a good one. Bye. 010101010101.